In the previous lectures, we started with screening effect or the shielding effect. With the help of that, we understood what is meant by effective nuclear charge Z star. The importance to understand Z star is in order to know the influence of the nucleus on the valence shell electron or on the outermost shell electron. The outermost shell electron, ideally it has to experience all of the nuclear charge, which is equal to the total nuclear charge Z. But because of the presence of inner shell electrons, the inner shell electrons are repelling the outermost electron, as well as the inner shell electrons are covering the nucleus, covering the nucleus from the outermost electron. उसके वजह से क्या होगा, जितना न्यूक्लियर चार्ज आइडियली होना चाहिए, which is equal to Z, उससे कम ही इन्फ्लुएंस होगा. That is called as effective nuclear charge. And the effective nuclear charge Z star is given by Z minus sigma, where sigma is called the shielding constant. This shielding constant depends upon the number of inner shell electrons as well as the orbital in which the electrons are present. More are the number of inner shell electrons, उतना ही ज़्यादा shield हो जाएगा outermost electron. Or I can say the sigma will be more. If the electron is present in s orbital जो shape है, it is spherical. So that particular s orbital electron can shield the outermost electron in all the directions. So its shielding effect or its shielding power is more. But if the same electron is present in p orbital, a p orbital can effectively shield in these areas, but it cannot shield in these areas where there is a nodal plane. So I can say if the nodal planes in the orbital increase, the shielding power decreases. A p orbital has one nodal plane, इसलिए उसका shielding s orbital के comparison में थोड़ा कम होगा. A d orbital has two nodal planes. In regions में shield नहीं कर पाएगा. It can shield only in these areas. As it has two nodal planes, the shielding power is further less when compared to the p. Similarly, f में 3 nodal planes रहेगा, g में 4 nodal planes रहेगा, so on and so forth. So for a given shell, एक shell के अंदर s, p, d, f सारा है तो an s orbital will be shielding to the greatest extent, followed by p, then d, then f. ns greater than np greater than nd greater than nf. We need to understand the variation of z star in a period as well as in a group. First of all, what is Z star? Z star tells us about the influence of the nucleus on the outermost electron. More is the Z star, more will be the influence of the nucleus on the outermost electron, or the electron will be attracted more and more towards the nucleus. Okay, so we need to understand the effect of Z star in a period as well as in a group. In a period, when we go from left to right, what happens to Z star? In a period when we go from top to bottom, what happens to Z star? Period elements हमने देखा है, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Period में whenever you are increasing one electron, you are putting the electron in the same shell. Lithium to beryllium पे जाते समय you are putting the electron in the second shell only. पहले 2s1 है, अभी 2s2 है. Boron पे जाते समय भी even now we are in the second shell. So if you are going from left to right in a period, the electron is being added to the same shell. The same shell electrons will be having a lesser shielding power when compared to the inner shell electrons. So sigma जो है, it is not increasing at a faster rate. But whenever you are going from left to right, you are increasing the atomic number by 1 unit. So when compared to Z, sigma is increasing at a slower rate because the electrons are added to the same shell. So if Z is increasing at a faster rate and sigma is increasing at a slower rate, overall Z star, which is Z minus sigma, will keep on increasing. So left to right in a period, Z star increases. Top to bottom क्या होगा? Top to bottom, if you are seeing again some elements and उनका electronic configurations, lithium to sodium जाते समय, you are changing the shell. In lithium, the outermost electron is in 2s or in the second shell. In sodium, the outermost electron is in the third shell. In potassium, fourth shell. In rubidium, fifth shell. So sodium से पहले जो भी electrons add किया आप लोग, you are adding those electrons in the second shell. Okay. So inner shell electrons can have more shielding power when compared to the same shell electrons. So इस केस में क्या हो रहा है? Sigma बढ़ा, it is increasing at a faster rate, and whenever you are increasing the electrons atomic number also increases. So Z is also increasing at the same rate. So overall Z minus sigma क्या होगा? It will remain constant. Top to bottom Z star remains constant. The takeaway point is Z star left to right in a period increases, top to bottom in a group remains constant. ये याद रखना. So we will be applying this in understanding the periodic properties, atomic radius, electron affinity, ionization energy, and electronegativity. Before understanding these periodic properties, we started understanding types of intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces मतलब दो molecules के बीच में क्या forces रहेगा. Basically, there are two types of compounds, ionic compounds as well as covalent compounds. In ionic compounds, the reason for the attractive forces are charges. What is meant by an ionic compound? A compound which is formed because of transfer of electrons. The atom which is losing electron will form cation, which is positively charged. The atom which is gaining electron will form anion, which is negatively charged. So you are having charges in an ionic bond. So those charges are responsible for the attractive forces. Okay, so in an ionic compound, the visualization of the attractive forces is easy because of the presence of the charges. But whenever you are taking a covalent compound, what is meant by covalent compound? The compound which is formed because of sharing of electrons. Suppose A और B के बीच में covalent bond बना, which is because of sharing of electrons. Ideal case में both the electrons which are shared must be present at the center. दोनों के बीच में रहना चाहिए. But होता क्या है in general? Because of the difference in the Z star, कोई ना कोई एक का Z star ज़्यादा होगा, दूसरे का Z star कम होगा. Okay, usually अगर Z star जिनका ज़्यादा होता है, that particular thing will try to attract the electrons. So जो center में रहना चाहिए था electrons, the electrons are drifted towards the atom which is having greater Z star. Remember, this is not an ionic bond, this is still a covalent bond. I am just shifting the electrons towards A. I am not completely transferring the electron of B to A. I am just shifting the electron towards A. As a result, the charges which we got are partial. They are not complete -1 and +1 charge. Okay. So इसके ऊपर partial negative, this symbol indicates delta. इसके ऊपर partial positive. This results in the formation of two poles, एक negative pole as well as a positive pole. Hence, a molecule, hence a covalent molecule which has a difference in Z star is called as a dipole. दो poles है, एक positive pole, एक negative pole. And the strength of the dipole depends upon the difference in the Z star. जितना ज़्यादा difference रहेगा, उतना ज़्यादा charges आ जाएंगे. And such a covalent molecule is called as polar covalent molecule. You are having poles. If there is very slight difference in Z star, if there is no difference in Z star, which happens in a homonuclear molecule. Homonuclear matlab both the atoms are made up of the same element, like hydrogen and hydrogen. In case में दोनों का Z star same रहेगा, so electrons will be present exactly at the center. Okay, in that particular case, the electrons won't be drifting to either of the atoms. As a result, there won't be any charges, or such a molecule is called as non-polar molecule. So if you are taking covalent molecules, they can be of two different types, polar covalent as well as non-polar covalent. Polar covalent has dipoles, non-polar covalent has no dipoles. They are not charged. Okay. So ionic compounds में interactions are because of ions. अभी covalent molecules में interactions क्या क्या हो सकता है? The first type of interaction is dipole-dipole interaction, which happens among polar molecules. Polar molecules के बीच में एक dipole दूसरे dipole ये ऐसे orient हो जाएंगे in order to form an attractive force. एक negative terminal और यहाँ पे positive, a negative positive ऐसे align हो जाएंगे in order to have attractive forces. If the attractive forces are sufficiently large, they will be in the form of liquid state. Okay. जितना ज़्यादा attractive forces बनता जाएगा, the state will change from gas to liquid to solid. Okay, ठीक है. So this type of attraction is called as dipole-dipole attraction or dipole-dipole interaction. whose strength depends upon the extent of the strength of the dipole, which in turn depends upon the charges which are present in the dipole. और charges ज़्यादा कब आएगा? Whenever there is difference in Z star. Greater difference in Z star will result in greater charges. So the extent of interaction depends upon the strength of dipole. More polar the molecule, more will be the interaction. Clear? Okay. This happens in case of polar molecules. Suppose if you have non-polar molecules, the kind of interaction that will be developed in non-polar molecules is called as London dispersion forces. इसमें होता क्या है? The non-polar molecules are not charged initially, but when two non-polar molecules approach each other, charges are induced inside the molecule momentarily. मतलब उस particular instant पे charges induce होगा. किस वजह से? Due to the repulsion among the electron densities. इसका electron density और इसका electron density दोनों के बीच में repulsion होने की वजह से इसका electron density इस side shift हो जाएगा. The absence of charge is nothing but positive, negative charge is nothing but positive charge ना. So electron density इधर shift होने की वजह से इधर positive charge induce हुआ. इसको और attract करने के लिए इसका electron density जो है इस side drift होगा and यहाँ पे positive charge आएगा. So they are developing charges inside the system. Hence it is called as induced dipole. Initially charge तो नहीं है, वो पास में आने की वजह से charges मिला. Hence it is called as induced dipole, and the kind of interaction that will be generated now is called as induced dipole interaction, which is also called as London dispersion force. The redistribution of electron density leads to the formation of a dipole called induced dipole. अभी इसका strength किसके ऊपर depend होगा? जितना ज़्यादा charges induce हो जाएंगे उतना ही ज़्यादा attractive forces होगा. ज़्यादा चार्जेस इंड्यूस होने के लिए इनका सरफेस एरिया जो है वो बढ़ना चाहिए. सरफेस एरिया कब बढ़ेगा? अगर एटम का साइज बढ़ा तो. सो ग्रेटर इज द सरफेस एरिया, ग्रेटर विल बी द चार्जेस इंड्यूस्ड एंड ग्रेटर विल बी द इंटरेक्शन. ओके, सो उसके लिए कंपैरिजन में हमने ऐसा कुछ देखा. फ्लोरीन, क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, आयोडीन. We know all these molecules are covalent and all of them are non-polar. They are non-polar because the bond is between fluorine, fluorine, or chlorine, chlorine, bromine, bromine, or iodine, iodine. There won't be any difference in the Z star. Okay. So if there is no difference in Z star, the molecule will be non-polar. So in May, the kind of interaction that can be developed when the molecules are coming close to each other, that is London dispersion force. We know that bromine exists in liquid form. Now the naturally existing form of bromine is liquid, and the naturally existing form of iodine is solid. Even though they are non-polar molecules, they are able to have greater interactions. That is because of London dispersion forces. And इनमें interactions बहुत ज़्यादा रहेंगे क्योंकि इनका surface area ज़्यादा है. Down the group size increases ना, shells बढ़ता जाएगा. So इनका compared to fluorine, chlorine में थोड़ा ज़्यादा interactive force रहेगा, but even now it is gas. उतना ज़्यादा attractive force बन नहीं पाया. ब्रोमीन में साइज और बढ़ने की वजह से अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस ज्यादा हो गया, so it got converted into liquid. In case of iodine, because of its greater size, attractive forces or the charges induced are very much higher, so attractive forces ज्यादा हो गया, hence it resulted in the formation of solid. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Having any doubt, please interrupt me and put your doubt. उसके बाद अभी ये जो फोर्सेस है किनके बीच में? नॉन पोलर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में. ये जो फोर्स है इनके एक इसके बीच में पोलर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में. Suppose if I am mixing a polar molecule with a non-polar molecule, like if I am having water, I am dissolving O2 inside it. So O2 is a non-polar molecule, water is a polar molecule. O2 dissolve होता है पानी के अंदर, and that is the reason for the existence of aquatic life. अगर O2 डिसॉल्व नहीं हो पाता है तो एक्वाटिक लाइफ का एग्जिस्टेंस ही नहीं होगा. सो वो डिसॉल्व क्यों हो रहा है? अगर डिसॉल्व हो रहे मतलब इट इज फॉर्मिंग सम इंटरेक्शन ना. दैट टाइप ऑफ इंटरेक्शन इज कॉल्ड एज डाइपोल इंड्यूस्ड डाइपोल इंटरेक्शन. वाटर जो है वो डाइपोल है, नेगेटिव एंड पॉजिटिव चार्ज. सो व्हेनेवर अ नॉन पोलर मॉलिक्यूल कम्स क्लोज टू इट, इट विल बी रिपेलिंग द डेंसिटी. उसकी वजह से ये जो है इधर नेगेटिव चार्ज इधर पॉजिटिव चार्ज इंड्यूस हो जाएंगे. So this will be an induced dipole. This is a dipole. So the type of interaction is called as dipole-induced dipole interaction. Okay, which is the kind of interaction between polar and non-polar molecules. उसके बाद we have seen ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction में होता क्या है? Whenever you have an ionic compound is made up of ions. If you are dissolving such an ionic compound in a polar compound, what will happen? It will dissociate into ions. Why is it dissociating into ions? और ions dissociate होने के बाद होता क्या है? It will form a new interaction. Initially, if it is present with the cation, if it is present with the anion, it is having an interaction among these two ionic bond के वजह से. But whenever I am dissolving it, if it is breaking into ions, positive और negative जैसे break हो रहा है, in a way उसका attractive force break हो गया. अगर उसका attractive force break हो गया तो ये तभी होगा if it is able to form a new attractive force which is stronger than this. If it is not able to form a new attractive force which is stronger than this, वो break ही नहीं होगा. Okay, so कभी भी कोई भी चीज dissolve हो रहा है, इसका मतलब it is forming a new attractive force which is called as ion dipole interaction. ये positive cation या negative anion, water is made up of dipoles. Positive, negative. So whenever this is dissociating into ions, the dipoles will be attracted. ऐसे सोचो, ये बहुत सारे छोटे-छोटे magnets है, all the magnets are attracted towards this particular positive charge. Okay, the dipoles will be attracted. This can be multi-layer. एक ही layer होने की जरूरत नहीं, बहुत ज़्यादा dipoles ऐसे आके attract कर लेंगे, which is resulting in the formation of a new attractive force. Okay. Similarly, anion also will be attracting the positive parts of the dipoles, and the process is called as solvation, or this particular ion is called as solvated ion. जितना ज़्यादा solvation होगा, वो उतना ही जल्दी और आसानी से ये break हो जाएगा या ions में dissociate हो जाएगा. और ये solvation किसके ऊपर depend होगा? The solvation depends upon charge of the cation or the charge of the anion, क्योंकि जितना ज़्यादा charge रहेगा उतना ज़्यादा attractive forces बनेंगे, as well as size. Charge as well as size. Size से वो inversely proportional है. ऐसा ये सोचना, एक cation है जिनका size ये है, दूसरा cation है जिनका size थोड़ा बड़ा है. इन दोनों में से इसका solvation ज़्यादा होगा. ऐसा क्यों? In this case, one positive charge is concentrated in a smaller region, which will be highly unstable. This is the same positive charge which is distributed in a larger region. So repulsive forces थोड़ा कम रहेगा इनके अंदर, इसमें repulsive forces ज़्यादा रहेगा. So ये highly unstable है. So it will always try to nullify or neutralize this particular positive charge by attracting negatively charged species. ये already थोड़ा relatively stable होने की वजह से उतना जल्दी नहीं है उसको attract करना. It will attract definitely because it is charged. But when compared to this will be attracting the dipoles to a lesser extent. Okay, ये याद रखना, if more charge is concentrated in a smaller region, it is highly unstable. It will always try to have stability by attracting the oppositely charged species. If the same charge is distributed in a larger region, ये larger region है ना, size बढ़ गया, then it is relatively stable. It is not in a hurry to attract the dipoles. It will definitely attract because it is charged, but the number of dipoles attracted will be relatively less. So the extent of solvation depends upon charge density, charge per unit area, or charge by size. Solvation is directly proportional to charge and inversely proportional to size. More the charge on the ion, more will be the number of dipoles attracted. Similarly, smaller the size of the ion, more are the dipoles attracted. ये समझ में आ रहा है ना? जितना ज़्यादा चार्ज एक छोटे एरिया में कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड रहेगा, वो उतना ही अनस्टेबल है, वो एक्सप्लोड करने के लिए तैयार है. So in order to stabilize that, you need to give more and more dipoles to it. I hope this is clear. Everyone in the lecture?
Yes, sir.
यहाँ तक हमने जो भी पढ़ा है, क्लियर है? These are the types of interactive forces. पोलर पोलर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में डाइपोल डाइपोल, नॉन पोलर के बीच में लंडन डिस्पर्शन फोर्सेस और इंड्यूस्ड डाइपोल, पोलर नॉन पोलर के बीच में डाइपोल इंड्यूस्ड डाइपोल। ओके, एक आयन और डाइपोल के बीच में आयन डाइपोल इंटरेक्शन। ओके, now let us go to the first periodic property, which is atomic radius. What is meant by atomic radius? Atomic radius is nothing but the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell electron. Ideally ये जो distance रहेगा, this should be treated as the atomic radius. But होता क्या है, because of Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, you cannot exactly or accurately predict the position of the electron. So if you are unable to predict the position of the electron, you cannot find the distance between the nucleus and the electron. Okay, so the exact determination of atomic radius is not feasible. इधर लिखा है मैं देखो, the exact determination of atomic radius is not feasible due to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, and there is difficulty in isolating an atom. एक atom को अलग करके उसके अंदर और distance find करना difficult है, very difficult. Okay. Hence, how are we defining atomic radius? We are defining it as half of the internuclear distance between two atoms. दो atoms को लेंगे, उन दो atoms के nucleus के बीच में distance find करके उसका आधा करेंगे. Okay, that will more or less give us an idea on the atomic radius. It will not give us the accurate value, but it more or less थोड़ा error तो रहेगा. It will be giving us the estimate of the atomic radius. So based on this, based on the distance between the two atoms, half of the internuclear distance between two atoms, we can define three different types of radii, which are covalent radius, metallic radius, and van der Waals radius. Let us try to understand in detail about these three. Okay, covalent radius, ऐसे तीन different radius कैसे defined है, उसके बारे में discuss करते हैं. ठीक है. Covalent radius, covalent नाम में ये ना, it has something to do with the covalent molecule. Covalent radius में होगा क्या? It is defined as the half of internuclear distance between two nuclei of atoms bonded by a single covalent bond. दो atoms के बीच में एक covalent bond रहा, एक covalent bond मतलब two electrons are shared, दोनों मिला के. Okay. ए का एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, बी का एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, इसके बीच में दो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रहेंगे. सिंगल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड. डबल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड का मतलब क्या है? ए दो इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेगा, बी दो इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेगा, उसकी वजह से डबल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड मिलेगा. ट्रिपल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड मतलब ए तीन इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेगा, बी तीन इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेगा, टोटल 6 electrons will be present in between them. That is called as triple covalent bond. You need to take single covalent bond for the estimation of the covalent radius. Okay, suppose I am having a homonuclear molecule. Homonuclear molecule मतलब both the atoms are made up of same element. Suppose A and B दो atoms है which are made up of same element. इन दोनों के बीच में single covalent molecule बनाने के बाद usually the covalent molecule representation is इसका electron density दोनों के बीच में overlap होगा. ये जो overlap region है ना, this electron density belongs to B as well as A. That's what happens in a covalent bond, sharing of electron density. Okay, so usually we represent them as overlap of the clouds. इसका cloud से overlap हुआ. This is nothing but a covalent bond. अभी इस particular molecule में, if you are finding the distance between A and B, and if you are taking the half the value of it, इन दोनों के बीच में distance find करके उसका आधा निकाल रहा हूँ, तो that is taken as the estimate of radius of A और radius of B. Ideally होना क्या चाहिए, यहाँ से यहाँ तक जो distance है, समझ में आ रहा है ना, इस न्यूक्लियस से लेके यहाँ तक जो distance है, that has to be the radius of A, and यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक distance जो है, that has to be the radius of B. But we cannot find that. We can only calculate distance between these two and उसका आधा value. ये वाला estimate ही आएगा हमको. So actual radius के comparison में, I can say covalent radius is lesser. Covalent radius is just an estimate of the atomic radius. I hope this is clear. We are unable to measure the actual radius of the atom. तब क्या करना पड़ेगा, जो हमें मिलता है उससे खुश रहना पड़ेगा. Okay, we are able to measure only this. DAB upon 2. आया समझ में? That is taken as the estimate of the radius. This is for the case of homonuclear molecule. But whenever you have a heteronuclear molecule का मतलब क्या है? It is made up of two different elements. A is of different element, B is of different element. Let us take the example of HCl. A hydrogen मान लेते हैं, B chlorine मान लेते हैं. In this case, the distance between AB, the distance between A and B, ये कौन सा वैल्यू आएगा आपको? If you are measuring the distance between AB, the DAB, distance between AB, can I say it will be equal to radius of A plus radius of B? Again, there is an approximation here. Radius of A मतलब ideally ये वाला वैल्यू आएगा. Radius of B मतलब ideally ये वाला वैल्यू आना चाहिए. Okay? But हम ये estimate ले रहे हैं. Distance between A and B, I am taking this as radius of A plus radius of B. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay? ये expected है. अभी ये जो मैंने कहा है distance between AB must be equal to radius of A plus radius of B, ये expected है. But होता क्या है? Whenever you are having heteronuclear molecule, obviously both of them are of different elements. Their Z star will also be different. Can I say that?
Yes.
मतलब क्या है? One of the element will be having greater Z star and the other element will be having lesser Z star. Out of hydrogen and chlorine, chlorine is having greater Z star because it is present towards the right of the periodic table. So chlorine के ऊपर ज्यादा Z star होने की वजह से chlorine के ऊपर कौन सा चार्ज आएगा?
Negative.
Partial negative. And
Yes.
hydrogen के ऊपर कौन सा चार्ज आएगा?
Positive.
Partial positive.
Partial positive.
Whenever you have charges in the system, can I say there are attractive forces?
Yes.
इसके बीच में ये नेगेटिव, इनके बीच में मैं बोल रहा हूँ. ये पार्शियल पॉजिटिव पार्शियल नेगेटिव आए ना. Because of the generation of charges, there will be generation of extra attractive forces. वो attractive forces की वजह से क्या होगा? ये जो जितना expected है हम कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड में जितना expected है इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी ओवरलैप होना चाहिए, उससे ज्यादा ही होगा. उससे ज्यादा ही होगा. मतलब क्या है? Everyone try to focus. Okay. ये दूसरा है. मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ इसका ओवरलैप रीजन जो है इतना होना चाहिए. ओके. बट बिकॉज ऑफ द जनरेशन ऑफ अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस, वो किस वजह से आया? बिकॉज ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ चार्जेस. वो चार्जेस किस वजह से आया? बिकॉज ऑफ द डिफरेंस इन द जेड स्टार. सो इतना ओवरलैप होना चाहिए. बिकॉज ऑफ द जनरेशन ऑफ चार्जेस ओवरलैप थोड़ा ज्यादा होगा. ये किस वजह से हो रहा है? बिकॉज ऑफ द अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस जनरेटेड अमॉन्ग द चार्जेस. यहाँ तक होना चाहिए ओवरलैप आइडियल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड में, बट चार्जेस की वजह से फर्दर ओवरलैप होगा. ओके. आया समझ में?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, ठीक है. सो आई विल से दैट द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन ए एंड बी जो हमारा अप्रोक्सीमेशन है, विच इज आर ए प्लस आर बी, ये वो नहीं होगा. इट विल बी लेसर देन दैट, क्योंकि और अंदर जा रहे हैं ना ये. सो दिस विल बी आर ए प्लस आर बी माइनस, ये एक फॉर्मूला है जो आपको याद रखना है. इसका डेरिवेशन हमारे पास नहीं है. माइनस 0.09 टाइम्स mod of delta En, where En is called as electronegativity, जो आप लोग 10th क्लास में पढ़ा होगा, which is directly related to Z star. We will be exploring this later. हमारा periodic properties में लास्ट periodic property जो पढ़ने वाले हैं हम, वो electronegativity है. बट अभी के लिए फॉर्मूला जैसा याद रखो आप लोग.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
या वो डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ था। आप लोग कहाँ तक सुना है?
Sir, till your electromolecule.
कहाँ तक? ये लिखा था मैंने अभी अभी। दिस इज कॉल्ड एज स्टीवनसन फॉर्मूला। ये समझ या
हाँ,
ये
बस फॉर्मूला till फॉर्मूला अभी
ओके ओके ओके। आप लोग को ये समझ में आया ना? इन केस ऑफ होमोन्यूक्लियर मॉलिक्यूल, the distance between AB is RA plus RB and RA is equals to RB. Hence, I am saying that DAB upon 2 is either RA or RB. But in case of heteronuclear molecule, the distance between AB is RA plus RB. But RA is not equal to RB here. Yeah, tell me. Okay. फर्दर क्या हो रहा है इसमें? वो Z स्टार के डिफरेंस के वजह से चार्जेस आ रहे, वो चार्जेस आने के वजह से Z स्टार के डिफरेंस की वजह से चार्जेस आ रहे, और चार्जेस आने की वजह से देयर आर एक्स्ट्रा अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस बिकॉज ऑफ व्हिच द एक्सपेक्टेड डिस्टेंस RA प्लस RB ये नहीं रहेगा, उससे कम ही होगा डिस्टेंस बिटवीन AB। आई एम सब्ट्रैक्टिंग सम वैल्यू। पास में आने की वजह से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा हूँ, अगर दूर जा रहे तो ऐड करना पड़ेगा। पास आ रहे ना, वो डिस्टेंस बिटवीन AB इज डिक्रीजिंग, so it is RA plus RB minus 0.09 times some delta En, where delta En is called as electronegativity difference which depends upon Z star। एक क्वेश्चन देता हूँ, डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला एप्लीकेशन, प्लीज सॉल्व दैट। इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ऑफ क्लोरीन दिया है आप लोग को as 3.0 एंड इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ऑफ हाइड्रोजन दिया है 2.1। RH रेडियस ऑफ हाइड्रोजन दिया है आपको 0.74 एंगस्ट्रॉम्स and distance between H and Cl, RHCl indicates distance between the nuclei, like D, R के अलावा I am using the symbol D then. Distance between the atom H and Cl is 2.7 angstroms. They are asking us to calculate what is the radius of chlorine. Simple formula application, apply the formula and get the answer.
This is equal to radius of Cl plus 0.7.
Answer
2.04.
2.041 angstroms. Very good. That formula application है ना?
Yes.
What is DAB equals to or DHCl equals to RH plus RCl minus 0.09 times. mod क्यों लगा रहा हूँ? Because I want the electronegativity difference as a positive value. तभी तो ये minus subtract कर पाएंगे. RH is given a, this is 2.7 angstroms. RH is 0.74 plus RCl minus 0.09 times 3 minus 2.1. आप लोग ये कैलकुलेट किया तो 2.7 plus 0.74 plus RCl minus this is 0.081, 0.09 into 0.9 na. Okay, which is 0.081. So RCl comes out to be 2.041 angstroms. ये जो रेडियस ऑफ हाइड्रोजन है ये कैसे निकाला होगा? by taking the covalent radius. Okay, covalent radius इसका निकाला होंगे and distance between HCl निकाला. From that we are trying to calculate the covalent radius of RCl. Is this clear?
Yes.
Shall I go to the next type of radius? The next type of radius is metallic radius. Metallic radius जो है, this we in general measure for metallic crystals like iron, zinc, copper. इनमें होता क्या है? The atoms are just in contact with each other. This is not an ionic bond. This is not a covalent bond. The type of bond which is present inside metals is called as metallic bond, which we will be exploring in chemical bonding chapter a little. Okay. So metallic bond के case में the atoms touch each other at the interface. So if you are finding the distance between the two nuclei, and if you are taking the half the value of it, you can more or less get the precise value of the radius. But this particular metallic radius we cannot determine for all the atoms. All the atoms are not metals ना. जिनके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी रहेगा उसके लिए मेटलिक रेडियस हम फाइंड कर सकते हैं. अगर ये मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट है तो यही रेडियस फाइंड करना चाहिए और ओनली दिस रेडियस मस्ट बी डिफाइंड करके आप लोग को एक डाउट आ सकता है. बट ऑल द थिंग्स आर नॉट मेटल्स, राइट? जिनमें कोवेलेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स बन सकता है, कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड्स बन सकता है, वी विल फाइंड कोवेलेंट रेडियस. जिसमें मेटालिक नेचर है, मेटालिक क्रिस्टल है, वी विल फाइंड द मेटालिक रेडियस. It is defined as the half of the internuclear distance between the nuclei of the two adjacent atoms in a metallic crystal. Okay, clear hai?
Yes.
Then there is one more type of radius which is called as van der Waals radius. ये जो forces है, intermolecular forces के बारे में हमने जो पढ़ा है ना, all these intermolecular forces were also called as van der Waals forces. A dipole, London dispersion, induced dipole, ion dipole. All these forces comes under category called van der Waals forces. So van der Waals radius में होता क्या है? First of all, let us understand what is the purpose for defining this radius. Already दो radius हमने define कर लिया. One is covalent radius and the other is metallic radius. Van der Waals radius का भी जरूरत क्या है? There are some species like noble gases. Noble gases are not metals, and they can either form covalent bonds. They can they don't form any molecules, na. So, if you are having noble gases, how can you find the radius of it? Okay. So in that case, we use a type of radius called van der Waals radius. इसमें करेंगे क्या? और जो noble gases है, try to convert them into solid. वो कैसे करेंगे? By bringing the atoms close to each other. How can you bring the atoms close to each other? By increasing the pressure and decreasing the temperature. Okay. So if you are converting gas into its solid form, and उस solid form में दो non-bonded atoms के बीच में, दो non-bonded atom, adjacent non-bonded atoms के बीच में distance find करके उसका आधा किया तो, distance find करके उसका आधा किया तो, you will get van der Waals radius. एक बार समझते हैं क्या है. It is defined as half of the internuclear distance between the nuclei of two adjacent non-bonded atoms of neighboring molecules in solid state. So, example neon ले रहा हूँ. These are atoms of neon. इसका molecule is nothing but atom ही है. Okay. So these are two neighboring molecules which are non-bonded. इन दोनों के बीच में bond नहीं है. The only type of interaction which they can have is van der Waals interaction. यहाँ पे negative charges, यहाँ पे positive charges induce हो जाएंगे. इसके वजह से वो पास में रह पा रहे. Okay. And in that case, it is not like a metallic crystal. So atoms contact में भी नहीं रहेंगे. Covalent bond तो है ही नहीं. In order to have overlap of electron density. Okay. So ऐसा कुछ distance तक आके रुक जाएंगे. So in that particular scenario, if you are finding the distance between these two, and if you are taking half the value of it, we get an estimate of the radius, which is called as van der Waals radius. Is van der Waals radius greater than the actual radius or lesser than the actual radius?
Greater than the actual radius.
Yes.
DAB upon 2 is taken as RA or RB. So it is greater. Covalent radius जो है, is it greater than the actual radius or lesser than the actual radius?
Less.
Lesser, right?
Lesser.
ये वाला value हमको आ रहा है. Actual value ये है. So van der Waals radius जो है, it is greater than the actual radius. Covalent radius जो है, it is lesser than the actual radius. ये जो van der Waals radius है, you can also find for those atoms. Sorry. Okay. ये जो van der Waals radius है, you can also find for those atoms which are able to find a covalent, which are able to form a covalent bond. मतलब, suppose if you are taking chlorine gas है, ठीक है, but if you are converting that into solid by decreasing the temperature, तब होता क्या है? एक chlorine molecule है, it will come close to another chlorine molecule. इन दो के बीच में there will be induced dipole interaction. Okay. So overall chlorine is non-polar. This is also non-polar. इनके बीच में there will be a generation of interaction called induced dipole. So उसकी वजह से वो पास में आया. Now if you are measuring the distance between two adjacent non-bonded atoms, these two are not bonded. ये दोनों bonded है, ये दोनों not bonded है ना. So for a chlorine molecule, you can find a covalent radius or you can find a van der Waals radius. दोनों measure कर सकते हो. Okay. Van der Waals radius is greater than the actual radius. Covalent radius is lesser than the actual radius. So इन दोनों के बीच में distance find करके आधा किया तो, इन दोनों के बीच में distance find करके आधा किया तो, you will be getting a value which is greater than the actual radius. This is also an estimate of van der Waals radius of chlorine. Okay. So अगर एक species के लिए, if you are able to measure all different types of radii for a given species, if you are able to measure all different types of radii, which radius is the highest?
Van der Waals.
Van der Waals.
Okay. Which radius is the precise?
Metallic.
Metallic.
तो ये जो van der Waals radius है ये greater than, I can say,
Metallic radius.
metallic radius.
Greater than
Which radius is the least?
covalent.
Covalent radius.
Covalent radius. नीट में और जेई मेंस में आप लोग को डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आएगा, व्हाट इज द रिलेशन अमॉन्ग van der Waals metallic and covalent radius? Van der Waals radius greater than, metallic radius greater than covalent radius. Is this clear? So these are the ways which we, through which we can measure the radius of a given atom. Either you can measure the covalent radius of it, or metallic radius of it, or van der Waals radius of it. अगर measure कर पा रहे तो okay, ठीक है. Let us see the factors that influence the atomic radius. How to compare them in a period as well as in a group. Factors affecting atomic radius. Atomic radius, I will use the symbol AR from now onwards. AR indicates atomic radius. The first factor which we are interested in is effective nuclear charge, or Z star. Tell me, how does the atomic radius depend on Z star? Directly proportional or inversely proportional?
Inverse.
Z star जितना ज़्यादा होगा, what is Z star?
Radius
Effect of the
उतना कम.
nucleus on the outermost electron. More is the effect of the nucleus on the outermost electron. That electron will be close and close to the nucleus. So what will happen to the atomic radius? Decreases. So I can say atomic radius जो है, it is inversely proportional to Z star. More is the Z star, lesser will be the atomic radius. A point clear है? Next, shielding effect. If the outermost electron is shielded more and more from the nucleus, what will happen to the distance of the outermost electron from the nucleus?
More.
ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. वो दिख नहीं रहे तो वो दूर दूर जाने के लिए कोशिश करेगा ना. लास्ट
Yes,
बेंच
sir.
स्टूडेंट जो है, अगर मुझे दिख नहीं रहे वो इसका टेंडेंसी ये रहेगा, थोड़ा और दूर जाएगा, आराम से पीछे जाके पबजी खेल सकता है करके, है ना? Okay. So what will happen to the atomic radius? Atomic radius is directly proportional to shielding effect. PUBG बैन हुआ क्या?
नहीं.
अभी तो नहीं हुआ है.
नहीं.
Okay.
नहीं.
Principal quantum number, or n. If the value of n increases, what is n? N in a way tells us about number of shells. If the value of n increases, what will happen to the atomic radius?
Increase.
Increases.
Increase. So atomic radius is directly proportional to n. Okay. इसके अलावा और एक है multiplicity of bonds. Multiplicity of bonds. Multiplicity of bonds मतलब number of bonds between two species. Suppose if you are not measuring covalent radius using a single covalent bond, डबल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड में भी मेजर कर रहे हैं, ट्रिपल कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड में भी मेजर कर रहे हैं. अगर इनकेस वैसे मेजर किया तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कार्बन, इस पर्टिकुलर केस में कार्बन और कार्बन के बीच में सिंगल बॉन्ड है, इस पर्टिकुलर केस में डबल बॉन्ड है, इस पर्टिकुलर केस में ट्रिपल बॉन्ड है. मोर आर द नंबर ऑफ बॉन्ड्स, मोर द अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस और लेस द अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस?
More.
The attractive
forces.
More the attractive forces. Closer will be the atoms or farther will be the atoms?
Closer.
Closer will be the atom.
if closer are the atoms, जो atomic radius का estimate आएगा, कम आएगा या ज्यादा आएगा?
कम आएगा.
कम आएगा. So can I say if the number of bonds increases, what happens to the atomic radius? Decreases.
Decreases.
तो इसमें ज्यादा होगा, provided followed by double bond followed by triple bond. Clear? So
Yes.
if I mark the general trend of atomic radius. General trend of atomic radius matlab I want to have an idea on the atomic radius in a group as well as in a period. Top to bottom, left to right. We are interested in finding the atomic radius trend. Left to right, what happens to the atomic radius?
Decrease.
Decreases.
Why is this?
Z star increase.
Star increases.
Very good. Left to right, shell तो change नहीं. Yeah, I was talking about the general trend. Atomic radius left to right, it decreases because of the increase in Z star. Even though I am adding the electron to the same shell, number of shells तो change नहीं हो रहे, but Z star बढ़ने के वजह से वो जो shell है, it will be closer to the nucleus. As a result, atomic radius will be lesser. Clear? Okay. Top to bottom, Z star is remaining constant, but the number of shells are increasing. More are the number of shells, more will be the radius. So top to bottom atomic radius increases. So based on this, I am asking you some general information. In which group will I get the largest atom? Tell me the group
First
in
group.
which you get the largest atom.
First group.
क्योंकि left to right decrease होता जा रहा है ना. So this will be present in group 1. And which element will be that?
Cesium.
Cesium.
Cesium के नीचे francium भी रहेगा, but francium
Radioactive.
radioactive. उसके बारे में हम बात नहीं करते हैं, but it will be cesium. In case if they are asking about radioactive elements too, then you need to mention francium, provided radioactive elements are considered. Clear है वाला part? Which will be the largest atom? Cesium. Smallest atom?
Fluorine.
Hydrogen.
Smallest atom is hydrogen. Hydrogen में एक ही है. हाइड्रोजन में एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन है, एक ही प्रोटॉन है, और yeah, everything is one. Hydrogen is the smallest atom, first shell. It is not helium. आप लोग को हीलियम का लग सकता है. हीलियम में क्या है? Z star when compared to hydrogen, हीलियम में ज्यादा है, right? So Z star ज्यादा है तो size क्या होना चाहिए? कम होना चाहिए ना? But in helium we cannot measure the covalent radius. The radius which we can measure in helium is van der Waals radius only. Helium do not form any covalent bonds. Van der Waals radius हमेशा actual radius से ज्यादा estimate value देता है ना? So based on the experimental data, smallest atom is the hydrogen. हमको लग सकता है हीलियम छोटा होना चाहिए, बट वो वाला रेडियस हम कैलकुलेट ही नहीं कर पाएंगे, कोवेलेंट रेडियस। समझ में आया आप लोग को?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the smallest atom is considered as hydrogen. Group with largest radius.
First group.
Group 1, which is made up of alkali metals.
Alkali metals.
ग्रुप 1 में alkali metals रहेगा। आप लोग एनसीईआरटी टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ रहे हैं ना? Group with smallest radius.
17.
Again, you should
17.
not say group 18, क्योंकि group 18 में कौन सा radius measure कर पाते हैं हम? Van der Waals
Van der
Van der Waals radius.
Van der Waals radius actual radius से ज्यादा रहेगा ना, so इसलिए halogens.
17.
Group 17 is considered as the group with smallest radius. Important है। ये क्यों ऐसा ले रहे हैं हम? Because in group 18 we cannot measure the covalent radius. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
So this is about the general trend. Okay, in every periodic property, atomic radius हो चाहे ionization energy, electron affinity or electronegativity. Okay, in every periodic property, first we will be seeing the general trend. There will be some elements inside the periodic table which will misbehave. मतलब ये general trend को follow नहीं करेंगे. This happens in every case ना. कोई किसी भी केस में वो होता ही है। Always there will be some people who won't be following the rules. होगा ही है, ठीक है? Similarly, there are some elements inside the periodic table which won't be following this general trend. Let us look at them, and those are very very important. Those are very very important, ठीक है? जो rules follow नहीं करते वही लोग important है। उसी के ऊपर आप लोग को एग्जाम में क्वेश्चंस आएगा। Okay, so we read them under the section exceptions.
Exceptions.
First exception. Let us take group 13. Okay, group 13 में I am taking two elements, aluminium and gallium. aluminium का एटॉमिक नंबर है 13, गैलियम का एटॉमिक नंबर है 31. ओके, इनका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस लिखते हैं। aluminium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. I hope everyone is present in the lecture. Okay. And gallium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p1. Right? Everyone concentrate. ये important है, बहुत ज़्यादा important है। नीट में डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आएगा, जेईई मेंस में डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आएगा एक्सेप्शन से। ओके, सो एक्सपेक्टेड क्या है बताओ? आउट ऑफ एल्यूमिनियम एंड गैलियम which should be of greater radius?
Gallium.
Gallium, because gallium's outermost shell is fourth shell, aluminum's outermost shell is third shell. Okay, so based on that I can say number of shells increase, number of shells increase from aluminum to gallium,
Gallium.
this implies size of gallium is greater than aluminum.
Aluminum.
Okay, ये expected है. देखो, एक बार everyone concentrate and observe. In case of gallium, just before this 4p, you have entered the electrons in 3D. And कितने electrons enter किया आपने? 10 electrons enter किया है. Okay. What is the shielding power of d orbital? Is it good or poor?
Poor.
Poor.
It is poor. Why is it poor? Because of presence of two nodal
Two
planes.
Nodal planes.
And ऐसा कितने electrons आप लोग enter करवा रहे हैं? You are entering 10 electrons. So whenever I am entering or whenever I am giving one electron, you are increasing z by one amount. वो अच्छे से बढ़ता जा रहा है. Okay. But because of entry of electrons inside the d orbital, which has poor shielding power, the sigma is not increasing to that much extent. Okay. और else ये जो group 13 से just पहले क्या हुआ, group 12 तक बढ़ा. Okay, which is nothing but D block. D के अंदर जो भी electrons enter करवा रहा हूँ, उनका shielding power जो है वो कम है because of the nodal planes of d orbitals. So in gallium, I can say the Z star got increased. Expected क्या है, constant रहना चाहिए top to bottom. But actual में क्या होता है, the Z star of gallium is greater than that of aluminium. ये किस वजह से? Because of poor shielding of d electrons. And कितने? 10 d electrons. समझ में आया? I'm writing a point. Please understand that due to poor shielding effect, SE indicates shielding effect. Okay, लिख लेता हूँ. Due to poor shielding effect of 3d10 electrons, effective nuclear charge will increase a lot in gallium. Okay, from this I can say size of gallium must be less than aluminium. एक फैक्टर से मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, the size of gallium must be greater than aluminium, that is based on the number of shells. And दूसरा फैक्टर है based on Z star. Based on Z star, I am saying that the Z star in gallium is increased to a greater extent, very greater extent because of presence of electrons in 3D subshell, which is having poor shielding power. So based on that, I am saying size of gallium must be less than aluminium. अभी ये जो दो फैक्टर्स है, both of them counterbalance each other. Okay, ये दोनों counterbalance होके the radius of gallium will become almost equal to radius of aluminium. That is the final conclusion. About two factors, counterbalance each other and radius of gallium will become almost equal to aluminium. This is the final conclusion. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Is this clear? Is the first exception clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, आज के लिए इधर तक ही करते हैं. We will continue in the next lecture. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me now.